I'm Sarah from Everyday Starlet. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing another battle of the contour palettes. I actually compared these sort of holy grail contour palettes, the Anastasia Beverly Hills and the Kat Von D Shade and Light. So I will link that video to this one so you guys can check that one out if you want. That one actually, it got so much positive feedback and you guys loved it so much that I thought, why not go around and try to find more palettes to compare. I actually saw this Maybelline Master Contour Face Contouring Kit at the drugstore and I decided to pick it up, and I was going through my makeup collection and I decided that, you know what? I want to see how it compares to my Tarte Park Ave Princess. Here's the thing, I don't use the Tarte Park Ave Princess very often. I actually carry this with me for travel because it conveniently has a bronzer, blush, and highlighter all in one. It also has a mirror, which is always nice. Maybelline Master Contour has no mirror, but it has a contour, blush, and highlighter shade. So I thought maybe we should compare the two and see how they hold up against each other. They're obviously not exactly the same. I do feel like when I swatch them on my hand, the Tarte is much, you probably can't see that, but the Tarte is much warmer, so it is more of a bronzer as opposed to the Maybelline, which is more of a cooler contour shade. The blushes are not the same shade either. The Tarte is actually cooler, ironically. Warmer bronzer, cooler contour shade, cooler blush, warmer blush. And I also feel like the highlighter shade of the Tarte is a little bit more gold as opposed to a champagne-y color of the Maybelline. So I basically went through and I put the Tarte on one side, the Maybelline on the other side, and let's see how they compared. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the Tarte. I actually already started because the camera stopped before I started and I didn't realize that it wasn't filming. So I kind of already started a little bit on this side with the Tarte. This shade right here is actually more of a bronzer shade than a contour, but I'm going in and contouring with it anyway. Now with the Tarte, there's like this big bronzer and then you get like the blush and highlighter in these little half things, which I find a little annoying because I like a big fluffy blush. I like a big fluffy brush for doing blush, and so I feel like it's sometimes hard to get in here. I know some people like to mix the two together. That's just not my preference. And I'm going to go in with the highlighter here. Just going to kind of go in and blend that all out. I mean, you know, I love Tarte. I got to admit, this is not my favorite contour shade, but it is meant to be more of a bronzer. The highlighter is very subtle. Like, it's not going to be like if you want like a bam highlight. And the blush is subtle, which I like because it's buildable. Okay, now for the Maybelline palette, it comes with this little tiny brush, which it's got to be just for a highlight. I'm not crazy about it. You know, obviously lower price point, less likely to get a mirror. These are actually labeled too. They tell you it's like contour, blush, highlight, in case you are a beginner. And the contour shade to me at first glance looks a little more like a contour shade, a little bit less bronzy, a little bit cooler. I was legit about to like do that and I'm like, there's no mirror there. Duh. And I just said it too. This is very pigmented, just so you know. I feel like this blush might be a little bit warmer than the Tarte, and it definitely looks more pigmented as I'm putting it on the brush, so I'm going to be very careful with it. It is definitely more pigmented than the Tarte. Okay, and my mirror apparently fell into the highlighter, so that has a dent in it, which is fine. I do feel like this highlighter looks a little bit less golden, a little more champagne-y than in the Tarte palette. The highlighter is super pigmented. That is a quality highlight right there. All right, I'm gonna blend it all in. I'm still holding this like I'm looking in the mirror and there's no mirror there. Okay, so I just realized I forgot to put lipstick on, so I'm gonna do that and then I will give you my final verdict. So my final verdict on these palettes. There's things I love and hate about each of them. You know, I don't really wear bronzer all that often, so the Tarte bronzer, and especially getting a huge amount of Tarte bronzer in this pack, isn't really as efficient for me. I mean, I don't think it did a terrible job contouring. I think it blended out nicely. It's just not my ideal contour shade. You get very little of the blush. I love Tarte blush. Tarte blush might be my absolute favorite. I haven't found a Tarte blush I don't love, so I do love that. The highlighter shade, I feel like, left a little to be desired. It didn't go on quite as smoothly as I had hoped it would. Didn't really show up all that much, so it didn't really pop. I mean, overall, again, I bought this for travel for the convenience of having everything in one. I'm not in love with it completely as a palette. I mean, maybe if I wore bronzer more, I might love it, but... And I love Tarte. I love Tarte the brand. As far as a palette, I would pass on this one just because I know for me personally, it's just not worth it. So, and I looked it up. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I know this is like at least twice as much as this, if not more. I think it's a little bit more than twice as much as the Maybelline. So honestly, I don't think this is worth it. As far as the Maybelline, I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know if the contour shade blended out as nicely as I like a contour shade to blend, but it's not bad. I would like it to be able to be a little bit more blendable, but again, for the price point, I am mad at it. The blush I don't love. I'm just not a fan of it. I think the blush, I don't know, at first I didn't think it was going on heavy, and then I thought it was, and I just not loving the blush on this. The highlighter though, bam. Like, I really love the way this highlighter worked. I mean, it's a beautiful shade, especially for a drugstore highlighter. This highlighter is amazing. Overall, if you really want to pick up one of these palettes, what I would really recommend you do is get the Maybelline palette and then buy a Tarte blush, like one of their Amazonian clay blushes, maybe Exposed, that's my favorite. Buy this palette, use the contour and the highlight, and then, I mean, that might not be worth your money though, to spend if you don't want to use all the shades. Again, I'm not in love with the blush, you might love the blush, but overall, I feel like the Maybelline kind of wins this battle simply because the highlight shade is so amazing. The contour shade is acceptable, but I'm not crazy about the blush. So if you have tried either of these products and you have an opinion, please let me know. Leave it in the comment section below. Or if you have any other makeup products that you would like me to try to compare or things you want me to find dupes for, please let me know. Again, leave it in the comment section below. I love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up because it really helps me out. It tells YouTube that I'm not spam. Because I'm not spamming you. We're having fun. Hey, I don't know why I get my thumbs out here. Like, yeah. So be sure you guys subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you join me next time. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah from Everyday Starlet. Welcome to my channel. Today we are answering the age-old question. Which is better, the chicken or the egg? That really doesn't mean anything. I don't know. This is kind of like a beak, maybe? I don't know. And this is an egg. I don't know. It's a teardrop. Never mind. That was a joke that just did not work. Anyway, so I'm here to answer the age-old question of which is better, the Legendary Beauty Blender or the Real Techniques blending sponge? Blending sponge. I believe that's what it's called.